and I got that for nothing, so I wasn't going to pass it up. It seemed like the longer I was there, the cheaper stuff got, so I started digging through some of the other drawers that I had already looked through a couple times and ignored the stuff on the first pass, thinking it was going to be too expensive. Prices kept coming down, so I went back with renewed interest. This is solid brass bar. Looks to be about 3/4 inch, about a foot long. Couple of those. I paid less than scrap value on these. Square brass stock and a small square brass stock. That's all solid brass. So that's a couple pounds of brass there anyways. That'll be handy. That'll go in the miscellaneous little stuff I have. Homemade die holder to go in a, I guess what he would do is he would hold this in the chuck and the tailstock, and then he'd put his die in here. Or I guess you could chuck this in the lathe chuck, and then in your drill chuck that's in your tailstock you could put a thin piece that you wanted to thread. But anyways, the idea is that it's the die holder. It's a common project in a lot of the lathe books that I was looking at, or at least one of them. So it's a handy thing to make at some point. And then I came across this one and I was like, you know, I'm going to get this for $1. And it's actually pretty nicely made. He's got some set screws in here, and he's got a big hole here for a Tommy bar to go through so you can rotate it. And I don't know what it was made out of originally. I think these marks here were from whatever this originally was, and he repurposed it. But, you know, it's a pretty darn solid one, so I got that. And then I saw this, another one, this little one. So I got two sizes there. So then I said, well, I might have dies that fit that, and I might not. So then I figured, well, since I'm buying those, I might also start fishing through these boxes of taps and stuff and pick out the dies. I was just digging out all the dies that I ended up picking up, and I found a couple more of these unused. These are the ones that look like they're for threading. They come to a straight point. These are the ones that are marked, yeah, D6. So I'll throw those in with the other ones, and then a handful of these, what look to be brand new inserts. These don't have holes in the middle, so these are go on some kind of a holder that would clamp down on that. So I'm not even sure if I saw one of those amongst the holders. I'm not going to worry about that for now. So these are that one's still got a bolt in it. Alright, so I fished out all the dies I ended up getting, and there's quite an assortment here of different ones. Oh, I was using my light and I took it away. Hold on. Anyways, I was saying, got quite the assortment of dies. There's only 4 large ones that fit this large die holder. And I don't really look at the size. This is an interesting one. There's actually a nut bolt in here. But made in the USA. This is a 7/16 NF20, so fine thread. But the symbol on there, it's kind of like a wavy line, and it's a G and a D, kind of like 2 peaks of a mountain. And there's a G and D, and there's a T in the valley. I think that might stand for Greenfield Tap and Die, which is a company right here in Massachusetts. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but I've seen that come up on a lot of I've seen auction listings and stuff like that. So apparently it was a pretty well-known outfit for taps and dies. But just thought I'd mention that. This one is a, boy, I can't make that out. Almost looks like it says Witter or Winter. It's another Greenfield, if that's what that is. And then there's this one here. It's just got a weird little symbol. Not familiar with. I don't know if that's going to even focus on that, but it's a little symbol. It's like it's an oval with what looks like almost like a squashed down shield in it. It's 3/8. So, you know, a few. Then the little ones here, I got quite a few more little ones. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Wait a minute, did I just miscount that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's like 15 little ones, and then one really little one that doesn't fit anything. That's a really bitty one there. These, oh, and there's this one with this weird outer, like, toothed deal. But these regular ones here, they fit this small die holder. So that's nice. So anyways, these, this weird one here, this is a Blue Point. So that was probably sold with mechanics tool sets, stuff like that. Yeah, these three here are Winters. These two are Ace, with a very scriptive lettering. Here's one with that weird oval symbol in it. No other markings on it to tell me what that might be. Nope. Here's a couple of little Greenfield tap and dies. That's a Morse. And the thing is that some of these new were quite expensive. I see a lot of guys talking about when they go to buy taps or dies. You know, it's the size is one thing, but the manufacturer makes a world of difference. This one, very good condition. This is a Hanson 1024 coarse thread. This one got a weird little shield, like almost like a Phillips 76 shaped sign. STG something. And this one a little too dirty and rusted for me to really see. Actually, just some gunk built up on it. That might clean up. Well used. It's a 1032. And these two, this is a Craftsman, the only Craftsman one, and this one is a Stevens of Worcester, Mass. This is a tool and die company right in Worcester, Mass. I remember when I was younger, I actually bought some tools, I think, from a tool outlet store that actually had some of these tools. Oh, this is a, I think I paid $1 for this. This is a die handle. Can't see what kind of die is in there, and I also can't figure out how to get it out. It looks like, well, I guess you just loosen this set screw. Yeah, there's 3 set screws. I guess you loosen the set screws and it pops out that way. But what I thought was interesting about this that I've never seen before, it's actually missing a screw. This looks like it had 3 little thumb wheel screws like this on here, and this one was replaced with a regular screw, and this one's just missing altogether. But if the screws were all in there, what this does is when you rotate this disc right here, it actually does a, there we go, it does a cam effect and tightens these 3 jaws down on whatever it is you're trying to tap, whatever stock you're trying to tap. So I thought that was kind of neat. I don't think I ended up finding a manufacturer on this anywhere. It doesn't look homemade, so I don't know if anybody recognizes that and can throw me a name on it. I'd be curious to know. But they have nice handles on it. Even if this whole arrangement up here, even if that falls apart and I don't use that, it's still a nice little die handle. Again, once the prices started to drop, I decided to just start collecting all kinds of little things. So I put together a whole lot of, these are wedges for drill chucks, for removing chucks or anything that is in a tapered bore. And there are all different sizes to these. Now I think, based on the ones I already had, the couple I already had added to these, should have a nice assortment now. That's a number 1. It's obviously factory made. This is like a homemade deal here. This has got some guy's name still on it. Can't make it out. Actually, I think this says Sprocket Department on it. This guy worked for a chain, some company called Something and Chain. This came out of their sprocket department, apparently. Ah, here's another one. This is a number 2. That's the same maker. It's got a C. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a C inside of almost like a star-shaped logo. It's another number 2. Another possibly homemade. Another number 2. Different maker. That is a number 3. Number 2. Another number 1. Look at that big sucker. Number 4. Another homemade. Another number 2. These are probably good for like 50 cents or $1 a piece at the most. And then scrounge some more keys. You know how I'm always liking the drill chuck keys. If I can get them cheap. I've got a little collection of those going around here somewhere. Made sure I didn't pinch any of the ones that were for, like the drill chuck that was mounted in the tailstock on that lathe. I made sure that there was a, drill chuck there. I wasn't going to grab that and then have the guy notice later that I pinched the one that, just in case somebody came along later and ended up buying that lathe. Or even if they ended up scrapping it, somebody might grab the chuck off of that. These are pretty big ones here. I already tried these in a couple of chucks that I have, like on the drill press and that. And maybe they fit some of the bigger ones that I have for the lathes. I don't know. But got all that. One lonely lathe dog. It was the only one in the whole place. The only indicator that the other guy who bought most of the indicators didn't get, because it was in a drawer buried, and it actually still seems to work. It bounces back to the same. If I zero it, it comes back to 0 every time, so that's a good sign. It's just very in need of cleaning and polishing or replacement of this plastic lens. But see if I can remember who the maker was on this. It's very hard to read through the thing here, but with the magnification I can see that it is, well, it just says it's a thousandths, 1/1000, made in United States of America. So the interesting thing is I actually see no name on the face of this. It just says made in the United States of America. It's an oldie. It is missing one of the 3 little tiny set screws that holds this on. There's a tiny threaded hole right there that's probably supposed to be plugged. I'm sure that's not a good idea to just have that open to the environment. But I think I probably got this for like $1. Some of you guys might be thinking, yeah, that's about all it's worth is $1. But hey, I don't know.